Hey guys, welcome back. You've heard me talk about my dry polish method, and there's not a whole lot of resources on out there for how to dry polish. Um, I've looked it up and I just kind of ate my way through it, and I just thought I would include it because it allows you to take soft rocks like these coquina jaspers that I've tried to tumble before with even a rotary and vibratory tumbler. I couldn't get good shine on them. This was as good as it got. You can kind of see they're pretty matte. They're not shiny. Definitely not the shiny you want. But after the dry polish, I can get a fairly decent shine on them. So I just going to show you how I go through that and how I do it. Not to say that I'm an expert on by any means, which, you know, I was kind of not going to do this video, and then I was like, well, at least I'll show you what I've been doing. So the idea is pretty simple. The first thing you need is corncob media. I bought this big old bag from Amazon. I actually found it in the ammo case supplier. The ammo guys use it for polishing their brass, and that's the easiest place to find it. Just kind of borrow their polishing techniques because it's pretty much the same idea. Don't use their equipment. Like, there's a Harbor Freight vibratory tumbler that is meant for the brass casings. If you try to put stones in it, you'll blow the unit out. But you can borrow their media. So first thing to do is you have to weigh the corncob media, or how much you're going to put in your barrel or tumbler, and you're going to want to fill it about 2/3 of the way, 2/3, 3/4, somewhere in there. See if I can do this without tipping the thing over. Yep. That's about good. That's good enough right there. All right, so I put 12.5 ounces in there. Okay, let's try that again. So I've got 13.8 ounces in there, and you're gonna want to put 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of grit in per pound. This is just under a pound, so 1.5 tablespoons would be good. For me, I just use regular stage 4 grit, the aluminum oxide, and it comes out pretty good. So that's been weighed. Shut that off. And another nice thing about this method is you can also reuse the media. It's not a one and done, so it's not like I bought that big bag and I'm gonna probably be using that for years to come. Because if I wasn't making this video, I'd be reusing this grit that I just used. Obviously you can see it has the old aluminum oxide in it, and there's a little difference in color, and I still got that shine on it, so you can reuse that stuff. And I've been tumbling this stuff for days. I think I've gotten 4 batches of rocks out of this media, so it goes a long way. A little bit goes a really long way. I think you can also get this this at pet supply stores, I believe, the corncob media. It's just, I think it's bedding material or whatever. So yeah, let's get this on the tumbler and I'll show you the next step. So I just finished a tumble, and it does produce some, you know, some of the powder does escape, but yeesh. So if you don't keep your barrel airtight, you are going to get some powder, a little bit of residue. Just throw it on there. Before I start the noise, you aren't going to get many rocks in here. You don't want so many rocks. It's not like regular tumbling where you want the rocks to grind against each other. In this type of media, you don't want them to touch each other, because that's what they tend to, they can scratch themselves, and you don't want that to happen. So you just kind of put enough in that they're probably not going to touch each other. Make sure your barrel is pretty full with the grit, and so you're not going to be able to get many rocks in, or at least not as many rocks as you're accustomed to when wet tumbling. But yeah, let's start the noise. You'll see I'll add a few rocks as I go, and kind of make sure I'm not adding too many and that they're staying separated. And once I see that they're maybe getting too close to each other, I'll stop tumbling, or I'll stop adding. But here we go. And you really do want to add them one at a time, or you know, just a couple at a time. You can see them going around. I should be able to put all of these in here, but it's always good to double check. Obviously you can hear the sound change as I added some weight to it. There you go, I was able to add that whole batch, so they're not touching each other, which is great. I'm not even seeing them rise into the surface, which is a really good indicator that they're not touching. And then 1.5 if I want to get crazy heavy, which I will because this is a fresh batch. If I was using that old corn cob, I'd probably maybe add 1, maybe an extra half if I wanted to, you know, really just to make sure, but really 1 tablespoon and that other stuff would be fine. There you go. And then it's going to sit like this for 1-2 days maybe. 24 hours is really all it needs. It doesn't need a whole lot of time. Obviously you can see the dust coming back up out of it. Hopefully you can catch that in the light. So I just follow the same method I use for tumbling wet. Just cover the container with a plastic to seal this, which is what actually the instructions for this Mini Sonic suggest, to use a plastic bag. I've been using that plastic bag forever, but yeah, there we go. And we'll check it again in a day. Alright, so I went away for the weekend, so it's actually been 3 days since I put these in. But time to see what we got here. Pretty clean barrel. I mean, dusty obviously, but not bad. I'll find one of my glorious Tupperwares. Alright, there we are. And then, ooh, nice and warm. I wasn't expecting that. I just did a batch of these before I recorded this batch, and I had thought that this white that was in it would come out, and it never did. I thought it would just rinse off, and it never ended up rinsing out. So I think I'm going to give this, I'm going to put these in with those other ones, and throw it into a burnish cycle in this, in my barrel, and just try to give it a little bit of a rinse. Good thorough rinse, and dig through and find them all. I use an old cake pan at the moment. That can obviously be washed and reused in the kitchen if it comes down to that, but yeah, this yeah, that is, I don't think that comes out. I'm gonna see what the burnish cycle will do and turn those right up. Alright, sorry about that. Camera's deciding the battery's dead. Let's see. I'm sure I could run it through the screen or whatever, or, you know, set it up on my, yeah, that thing. Sorry, my brain is not working today. But, yeah, this is okay too. Yeah, alright, so I knew there wasn't a whole lot I put in there. It was pretty much down to the last of it, and I just got a fresh batch of coquinas in. So I am really looking forward to working with those straight into the vibratory tumbler only type project. Alright, so let's get those into the burnish cycle. And I will combine them with these that I did a while ago. Just as a comparison, this is the new stuff. This is a relatively new corncob batch, and this is an older batch. And let me see if I can find something. These have been rinsed off. The one on my left hand has been rinsed off. The one on my right, not yet. But, yeah, just an idea of reusing media on the left, and not, this is a fresh corncob media. You saw me dump it in. And just a difference in the shine. There isn't any difference. There isn't any really... I can't see any visible difference, so yeah, you can get quite a few batches out of, you know, 1 pound of the corncob media. So if that's what you want to get, then yeah, you can expect it to last a while. And then it's finally warm enough out here that I am going to actually hook up a hose. I think we're past the worst parts of the freeze, and I don't know if you can see in there. Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, not really a full barrel, but it'll be enough to run for. I'll just run it for 15 minutes and call it good. So, all right, here we go. While that's finishing up the burnish cycle, I did a little spring cleaning since I finally have live water in here, and I got water everywhere, including into this what's supposed to be dry corncob media, but it's not gonna hurt it in the long run. All I do to store it is I just dump it into my little container here, and we're good to go. Actually, keep a few lids around just for this. There you go. That's some ice cream. Thank you, Blue Bunny, for the containers. It does keep me buying your brand over other brands. I'll tell you that. Okay, let's get those off the burnish and see what they look like. Alright, a little grayish. The water is a little more green than typical, but that's okay. I finally have live water. I can actually clean my container out extremely well. Barrel's starting to show its age. It's understandable. I've been using it pretty much non-stop since I got it last summer. Alright. Alright, so that little bluish or grayish in there is what I was trying to get rid of, but that might also be part of the stone at this point. Yeah, it's just either that or it undercut and it packed the grit in there. It's just the white grit, but everything else looks like it's coming out okay. Came clean, but of course we won't know until it's dried. So yeah, let's get it dried off and see where we go from there. Alright, so I got a little treat here. I got not just me this time, but I got my mother and son involved here for this grand reveal of dry polished rocks. And they turned out okay.
Oh, look at that.
Obviously I mixed the two batches because I wanted to tumble them together in the that one stage. Burnish. Go ahead.
Oh, I like that one. What is it? I mean, they're all beautiful, but what is this?
I mean, they're all the... Remember this summer at the chalet, I had that batch of stones that nobody wanted because they weren't polished?
Right. These are it?
These are it.
Ooh, did they lose out?
Yeah.
Those are beautiful. I don't know what it is, though.
Coquina jasper. It's still coquina jasper.
Oh, yeah. Those are the... Oh, yes.
So, yeah, they turned out well. I mean, I'm quite happy with them. And I have a batch here that I hadn't dry polished. So... it's kind of nice to know that on a soft stone like this, you can still get a really good shine.
They're like...
some of them turned out a little purpley. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, they have a soft, smooth look to them. Not the shiny shine, but they're warm.
A luster.
They're not glossy, but they're warm.
Warm, very warm. Good job, Terry.
And then some of them got that purple look, which at first I thought was maybe I polished it wrong, but then I got to looking at the old batch that I polished a different way. And they had the same thing. So
I like that. How come Mama doesn't have a pendant by now?
Because I'm still figuring out how to polish these things. All right, so this batch on the left is one that I polished, I think just vibratory polish. I was trying to get a good shine on them, and I got a decent shine. But let's find one that's similar in color here. Okay, here we go. So you got the one on the left is going to be the one that I used just a vibratory tumbler and went nice and slow on it. And then the one on the right is the one I dry polished. So let me try to get the lights on it just right. So not much difference.
Is that a fossil in there?
So you could do it either way. Okay. Well, coquina means really fossil. They're seashells. Those lines are seashells.
Wow.
It's basically seashells trapped in clay, which is why they get the name coquina, which I guess is Spanish for seashell or shell or something. I'm not familiar with the language, so forgive me if I buggered it. But yeah, so
These are beautiful rocks.
oh yeah. Yeah, these are fun. These are due
this-
again. In
this
fact, I am
stripe
going to
on
be
that.
doing them again.
Just so predominant.
Mhm.
I mean, it just
There's a little purple/pink spot right there in that corner.
Yeah, I noticed that it's polishing. I think some of them kind of came away, but yeah, you're right. Some of them had that pink, almost had a pink spot in them.
They almost look like rose quartz a little.
And you get one
They
like
do.
that. It looks like the grit's trapped in it, but I just wish it could be because those are low spots that it's trapped in.
well,
But,
there was one I was just holding that
but
had
at the same
grit.
time, turn it that way, it makes a nice pendant. Or some of these, I imagine, I'm going to turn into a fridge magnet.
This looks like a Indian head.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an earring, half an earring.
But
Another one.
yeah, so I mean, if you guys are into trying to figure out how to polish soft stones, clearly you can either do the slow vibratory tumbler, put it on slow and a vibratory, or I'm sure also, oh yeah, there's that pink you're talking about, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then, or you can do the,
This line.
I'm sure you could also slow down
Look at that. What colors is that line?
the white or the yellow.
Yeah. you
No,
said
that's the
it's-
seashell, I think.
Wow. I bet if you cut it in half, you'd see that more, I bet.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. I never did try sawing any of these.
What if
Well-
you sawed them at this stage, and then you just have to throw them back in?
Yeah, if you want the saw cut polished,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want that hard edge from the saw.
But you would lose the part that you've already tumbled.
Well, you wouldn't lose that part. That part would still be shiny.
Mm.
It's only the part where the saw hits it that it would scuff up. So
These
yeah,
are
you got the two
beautiful.
methods now if you want to polish soft stones. I'm trying to think of what else I was going to do with this, but yeah. So
To say hi to Mama, he's going to teach me how to look for rocks this year.
yeah, we got a big family trip headed for the UP up in the Rabbit's Ear of the UP. So the Copper Harbor area, which is the mecca of rock hounding in Michigan. That is the place to go for the greatest variety and geological formations and all kinds of fun.
Go right on by the Petoskey Stone up to Copper Harbor.
Right,
This
yeah.
one's got a little eye in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can't
Really
be a
fun.
team member then.
Yeah.
There's no I in team.
A little pink in that one too. So there you go.
I like
Two different
this.
methods then.
This looks
Compared
like a
side by
rose.
side, and they
Look
both
at it.
work. Oh, yeah.
Look at that. There's a rose on the end. Rose among the thorns there.
Well, typically on
Good
the
job.
thorn.
They're beautiful. I love them.
Okay.
I like the blue.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped you guys learn a new method of polish. And
They're beautiful. Oh, look at this. Did you show this one? That's half and half. Oh, beautiful. Mama wants a pendant. Mama wants to.
yeah, I'm
I
trying
know.
to.
I fall in
I'm
line
looking
behind the
at. I'm
wife.
looking at them for ones that'll wrappable, like that ones I could wrap and stuff. So I've
Wrappable. Is that a word?
wrappable.
Is that
I'm making it a word.
a rock word?
All words are made up, so
Are
you
we
can make
talking
up any
about,
word.
Are we talking about like rapping? Like
No music involved. No.
no?
No music.
No music.
Okay, Grandma, I gotta say this to you. There is no I in team, but there is an ME. So.
Sorry, it sounds like I'm smoking.
Only if you go backwards.
My son took me for a run today, and he ran way faster than we were supposed to go. So I'm a little.
It's just a nice way of saying way faster than you could run.
Oh, he was feeling it when he got back too. So, all right. Well, thanks guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Those two.
Bye.